Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Radical Edge of HR. I'm your host, Tanya Hawley, with you once again, and very happy to be there. And happy Valentine's Day, everybody. So, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us on Valentine's Day. And we've got the right topic for you today. Let me go ahead and bring in our expert, and we can share with you the title, What's Love Got to Do with It? Please join me in welcoming one of the experts, Miss Chatanese Reese. Hey, Chatanese, welcome back.
What's love got to do? Got to
Got
do with
to
it.
do with,
Listen,
hey,
I hope we don't have any
what's
copyright issues. I do not own the
welcome?
right.
That's right. We do not own the rights. I don't
Yes.
think we got anything to worry about. Chatanese, it's so great to see you again. Thanks for coming back and joining us for this great topic for Valentine's Day. What's love got to do with it, as the song says? And we're going to talk about a little bit of what's love got to do with it. And let me first welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. If you have questions or comments, please go ahead and post, and I'll be happy to give them to Chatanese to answer. And we're going to go ahead and get started, but let you know that this particular topic, we're talking about self love, probably the most important love. One of the most important love we can have is for ourselves. So let's go ahead and dive in, Chatanese, and let's talk about why is self love so important?
Thank you, Tanya. And again, it's good to see you. It's been so long since the last time I
It
saw
has.
you. I'm sending you a virtual hug or a fist
Thank
bump.
you.
My memory
And
serves me correctly. You like hugs, so sending you a hug.
yes, I do. Thank you. And Valentine's, thank you. I feel the love.
Yes. Yes. And hello, everyone. And for anyone who's not celebrating Valentine's Day, happy Wednesday to you. And
I love it.
hoping that this day that you find some sunshine throughout your day. So excited to talk about what exactly does love have to do with the workplace? Tanya, when you and I were talking about this topic, I thought, we really should kind of take a spin on not the typical, romance within the workplace, but loving ourselves. And
Mm,
what does that mean? And why is it important? First and foremost, I want to say that self love is important at work because it really truly helps with your perspective. And you may be thinking, like, how does that
mhm.
impact your perspective? It gives a sense of a positive perspective. Research shows that as you are thinking about things, that influences your behavior. So
Mm,
if you are kind of channeling your inner confidence, it automatically impacts your perspective and thereby gives a positive perspective. And there
mm.
was an article, Tanya, that I read recently by Gurpreet Kaur. I may have mispronounced their name, so my apologies. But there were 2 points out of the 6 points that the author offers. And number one, self love helps with decision making. So, when I talked
Mm.
about that positive perspective earlier, if you're having a positive perspective and you're faced with a challenge, having that inner confidence and that inner ability to love yourself helps with making those decisions and challenging whatever issues or topics or whatever you have to face in terms of confrontation within the
Mhm.
workplace. So love that. And then the other point that I wanted to just really drive home is just having that sense of confidence. When you love yourself, it comes out. People feel it, they can see it, and
Mm.
people are drawn and attracted to that. So certainly from a leader's perspective, you want to be able to love yourself first so that you can lead with from a space of confidence.
Oh, I love that. That's some good stuff. Thank you, Shanice. You know what came to mind when you first began talking about this? It's a saying we used to always hear and say is, "What you think about, you bring about." And
Ooh,
I hadn't connected that to self love, but you were talking about your thoughts, everything, your decision making, all that comes. So what you're thinking about, you bring about. So if you're thinking positive and you're loving yourself, that's gonna you're gonna bring that about in your everyday work life.
yeah. I mean, think about the last time that you were in the office and you had the folks that were kind of grumpy, oftentimes, or if they had some issues that they were experiencing outside of work or even interpersonal conflict within work, that all plays into
Mhm.
how we interact with each other and how we approach, whatever is on our plate from a work perspective. So absolutely.
Oh, I love that. Oh, all up here.
Yes.
All right, let's discuss a little bit loving your actual workplace. Bloom where you're planted until you're able to sprout or bloom somewhere else. Ooh, that's really a deep comment.
Yeah, and you may be thinking, well, how does that actually tie into self-love? So, loving oneself is accepting where we are in that moment, which means
Mhm.
we want to bloom where we're planted. And by blooming where we're planted, instead of always looking out for that next, we're able to really foster and strengthen and hone those skills in our existing environment. Now, I'm not suggesting that you stay in environments where it's you feel that there's abuse going on or anything along those lines. We certainly encourage you to talk to the appropriate HR professionals, internal legal professionals, your manager, first and foremost, to address any of those egregious issues. But
Mhm.
if you're in a space and you feel as if you've possibly outgrown that space, continue to give 100%. And if you can find that extra 10%, give that too. And why? Because people are always watching. You and I both know that, Tanya, that people are always watching, even when you don't
Yes.
think people are watching, people are watching you. So if you are still giving at 100%, even though in your mind you're wanting to be at that next, you just never know. That exposes you to a wide variety of opportunities. Someone from some other department may see that you're still giving 100%, even though you're wanting to be onto that next. So, one other thing I want to say in terms of blooming where you're planted, oftentimes we're thinking that the grass is greener on the other side or somewhere else. The reality is that grass has to be watered
Mhm.
and maintained just as ours, our current environment. So it's important to really think about where we are and do our best to make the most of where we are for that current level. And you just never know when that next opportunity may open up because you are pouring in as much as you can.
Mhm. Mm, I like that. And you know what I keep thinking of when you say bloom where you're planted, and I just think about springtime, and I love spring and things are blooming, but we're in the winter right now, so we still have to, we still have to bloom when we're planted, even in the wintertime. In the wintertime, to me, is when you're in a place where you don't necessarily want to be, or there's some things you need to work on, or you're just not happy with certain things. That's the winter. It's not the blooming season per se. That's what I
Yeah.
thought of because I wanted it to be spring so bad. But anyway.
Listen, Tanya, me too. Me too. But to your point, if there are any gardeners in the audience today, they'll appreciate this. You have to prepare the land, right? For that future harvest. So you have to get the land ready.
Mm,
You have to get the ground ready so that those seeds can go in, and ultimately you can reap the benefits of the harvest. So even in the winter period where it may seem as if you're barren or the land is barren, you still have work that can be done to get ready. So while you're at this current state in your career, continue to think about,
mhm,
is there anything else I need to be doing? Something else, Tanya, is maybe there's someone else that you need to be mentoring in this current season. Maybe it's not about you. Maybe it's about you pouring into someone else. So sometimes we, in our career journeys, we're so focused on do, achieve, next, that we don't fully
mhm,
appreciate the level on which we find ourselves. So yeah, bloom where
mm.
you're planted until it's time for that next season.
Very eloquently put. Thank you, Shatanice. Let's talk self love and respect for self and others within the environment we're in. We kind of alluded to that just a moment ago, but can we touch on that a little bit more?
Yeah. When you're thinking about self love, it certainly ties into self respect. And what I mean by that is making sure that you are being an advocate for yourself, whether that means you're communicating to others your interests in various projects or committees, whether you're managing up and making sure that you're doing everything that you can as it pertains to your manager's expectations. Also, being an advocate for yourself. I want to share that this necklace I have on today holds really special meaning to me. I don't know if you can really see it. Why it's important is because as I was growing up, oftentimes I felt as a child that I didn't have my own voice. And so now that I'm in adulthood, I have been able to really truly find my voice and be my own advocate. And so, for those of you who love the Little Mermaid story, there's a point in time when the character's voice is actually captured and it's in a shell. And the enemy, actually, it cracks and the voice starts to come out. So this is what this necklace represents to me, is like my voice. I'm finding my voice. And so even within the workplace, we have to be able to find our voice and to stand up for ourselves, speak our ideas, make sure that we are being taken seriously, and really do that inner work. So when someone offers feedback, and feedback should be considered as a gift, that we are processing, any reactions that we have to feedback that is received. So all of that is tied into self-respect and being able to be an advocate for yourself. So
Great. And if you have any comments or questions, please be sure you put them in the comment section. Good morning, Renee. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. So I have another question for you, Shadanice. What happens in the workplace when self-love is absent?
thank you for that question. Oh my goodness. As an HR professional, and certainly as a consultant with HRKS, we see what happens on a regular basis. There are greater instances of employer relations issues. There are greater instances of individuals wanting to file a claim, primarily because either people are not taking the time to take care of themselves. And so, hear me clearly, I'm not suggesting that all situations are as a result of people not loving themselves. I am offering that when we are taking care of ourselves, we're not overworked, we're being able to balance, or integrate. Sometimes balance is a tricky word. We're be able to integrate, what happens at work and what happens at life, or within life, because life be lifing. Listen, you can appreciate just how life happens on a regular basis, and having our children and watching them, trying to figure things out in terms of their career, and we're on the sidelines like, you come on, if you just did this, or want to give them that freedom. And so as a parent, we're thinking about that, and we're taking that into the workplace. So being able to really truly take care of ourselves so that we can show up as our best selves, so that we can respond as our best selves. And so when that stimulus hits and we want to respond, that amygdala hijack that sometimes we talk about in workshops, that we're able to kind of really put that space. And I love this analogy that I'm showing. My one of my mentors, Cherie Knowles, shared this, like really, really putting that space in between the stimulus and the response, and pausing and being able to breathe and being able to say, okay, I'm responding this way because why? Let me see what's happening for me, and so that I can respond differently. And that may mean that I'm taking a pause, I'm taking a timeout, which is absolutely okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when we take care of ourselves, we are able to lead better. We're able to contribute better. We're able to communicate more effectively. So that all ties into just kind of workplace environment. So that's exactly why it's important for us to take care of ourselves.
And that can be also interpreted, I think, as certain things that make you feel good. Your self-love. If it's when I look down and see that I have my nails done, and that just makes that self-love because I got my nails done, and it carries over because now you can look at your nails and they're done at work
Yes.
every day, or things like that. I'm using that as an example, or maybe it's having that picture of your family in your office because they're with you the whole day, and that's self-love because you love them, and that kind of thing. So things that can make you feel a certain way, I would
Yes.
think can be an expression of self-love. um,
Yeah.
Stepping
You're,
away, I
you're,
don't know if I can tell myself.
go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you. That's okay, Shanice. Thank you. Yes, that's what I was thinking of when you were saying that. And when you were saying, when you're doing this and you have that moment and you want to fight somebody, I don't know if I would be able to take the time and say, why are you feeling this way if you're that angry? So just walk away, I guess. That's what I was thinking. Sometimes it would be the best thing if you're not feeling the self-love at that moment. To maybe just, like you said, take that break and walk away. Self-talk, I don't know, would be good at that moment for me if those kind of situations came up.
Well, and that's where the self-awareness comes into play, and
Mm,
realizing, okay, I know myself, and if I don't step away, then something is about to happen that that it'll be hard for me to take back.
mm,
But I love the examples that you gave, Tanya, in terms of actual expressions of self-love. I read this article
mhm.
by Michelle Gagliani, who has called herself the Balanced CEO. And Michelle offers 30 ways to practice self-love. And so there were several that I actually
Mm,
appreciated. So number 6 of those 30 is love your body. And so loving your body may mean you're actually exercising. You're getting up and moving away from the computer, and you're going and taking a walk.
mhm.
Loving your body may mean you're actually eating. I can't tell you the number of my colleagues when we're bouncing between meetings, I ask them, have you eaten yet, today? And sometimes people say no, or they're, shoving things down in between meetings. Number 9 out of those 30 is
Mm,
to schedule self-love days. And I actually take a day
mm.
out of the month where I close my laptop, which can be really scary as a consultant, as a small business owner, and I don't do work. And I do some of the things that you mentioned, Tanya. I may go and get nails done. I may get a massage, but it doesn't always have to equate into spending money. It may be as
Right.
simple as taking a nap, which is I
Mm,
I love a good nap. I love
mm.
love love love
Yes.
good. So,
Mhm.
however you are defining self care, self love, you need to be able to carve out that time and to protect that time. There are instances where clients will want to meet on those Fridays, those sacred Fridays, and I struggle for a minute, but I say no. I owe it to myself to keep that time sacred and to take that day off. Um, and the last 2 that I want to mention from
Ooh,
that same article, and there might be a little bit of lag, so I apologize. But the last 2, number 16 is don't compare yourself to others. Ugh, I can't tell you the number of times when I'll be having a great day and I get on LinkedIn
there we
and
go.
I see um, someone, a colleague that's doing something else that I think maybe I should be doing, and recognizing, yeah, we're not doing the comparison game. I'm in my lane, they're in their lane. Let's celebrate them and keep it
Mm,
moving, right? So, and then lastly, journal. I'm a
absolutely.
big fan of journaling. And so sometimes it's helpful just to get those thoughts out, because you were talking about that self talk, to get those thoughts out, and to get those emotions out. So to get them out of
Yes.
ourselves onto paper. And so journaling is certainly an example of self
Wonderful.
love and self care.
Shanice, I have, thanks for joining us. I see Cherie and Eileen. Can you give the name of the person who provided the list again so everyone would have it?
Yes, it is Michelle Gagliani, and it's 30 ways to practice self love. And Michelle is the
So spell
Balance
that last name
CEO.
up. I'm sorry.
G,
Spell the last name for us. Mhm.
absolutely. Gagliani. And this was actually an article that our HRKS marketing team provided to us to read. So, yeah.
Awesome. That makes me feel good. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, in closing, is there anything else you'd like to share, Shatnez? Self love vibes or anything else before we end and let everybody go enjoy their Valentine's Day today?
I would say the one of the last items, actually from that same article, 30 Ways to Practice Self Love, is to learn, number 27, learn to stop pleasing everyone. I am
Mm,
a recovering people pleaser myself. And so I know what it feels like to try to aim to please everyone else except myself.
mhm,
And so being able to really pause and assess motivation as to when requests come through, like, okay, I want to do this. Should I do it? Do I have the bandwidth to do it? Making sure that your no muscle is just as strong as your yes muscle, and that no is a full sentence. And really
mm,
just to pause and make sure that we're taking care of ourselves instead of just plowing through the work
mhm.
week. So that's my biggest hope for everyone, is that they have an opportunity to really kind of pause and do what's important to them to make them smile.
Thank you, Shatnez. We appreciate that information and the input you gave us today. Truly, I hope everyone is going to go get some self love today, if no other day, today especially. But I love that part about once a month, that one day a month. I love that. I'm going to incorporate that. So we thank you all for joining us. Again, thank you, Shatnez. Were you about to say something else?
Yes, Tanya, I would be remiss if I didn't say that in the month of Black History Month, self love may be
Mm,
tapping into a book or a
yes.
movie or going to a Black owned restaurant or doing something in terms of visiting a museum. Those are all great ways to practice self love and celebrate Black History Month. So I wanted to make sure that I reminded everyone to do that too.
Brought those together. Yes. Thank you. And what a great way to bring those two together. So happy Black History Month to everyone. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. We hope this helped you and encouraged you to practice self-love. We thank you so much for joining us. HR Knowledge Source is here for you. If you have any questions or you need some help with that self-love or anything else that has to do with HR, we'd be happy to help you. You can find us and follow us at HRKS LLC everywhere. Make sure you subscribe, like, and follow us. And we'll see you next time on the Radical Edge of HR. Thank you, everybody. Have a great Valentine's Day. Bye bye.